You chose absolutely right tuning in to Rwanda Television News this Monday evening. Good evening to you and many thanks for joining us from wherever you are tuned in from. This is what makes up our top stories. King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein of the Kingdom of Jordan on January 8th paid a tribute to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi at the Kigali Genocide Memorial. The Rwanda Social Security Board, RSB, revealed that 82.7% of our community health insurance subscribers have paid the total fee. And to international matters, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met several Arab leaders in the Middle East amid growing regional tensions related to the Israel-Hamas war. Good evening once again, and we are glad to have your company. As we start it off tonight, King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein of Jordan noted that Rwanda's history at the memorial is a lesson that one should first accept the brutality of what happened before starting to build a path of peace. We do have the details with Adam Squizera, who starts us off tonight.
Here at the Kigali Genocide Memorial, Jordan's King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein laid the wreath on the graves of over 250,000 victims of the 1994 genocide against Tutsi, who are laid to rest here at Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi. For over 30 minutes, he was shown different parts of this genocide memorial as he was explained much on the Rwanda's history from before the colonial era up to after the genocide against Tutsi in 1994. After visiting, he wrote in the visitor's book the following message. The Kigali Genocide Memorial commemorates a painful part of Rwanda's history and a lesson to humanity. It is a testament to this nation's dedication to racial reconciliation. The stories shared here hold lessons to the whole world about overcoming great tragedies and working towards unity, peace, and resilience. In his remarks right after writing in that book, King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein of Jordan noted that the history at the memorial is a lesson that one should first accept the brutality of what happened before starting to build a path of peace.
Rwanda's experience teaches that we must fight the dehumanizing rhetoric that fuels conflict. Your story can be a beacon for us all. How the people of this country took action after this unspeakable crime of crimes and worked towards reconciliation to heal old wounds and prevent genocide from happening again. This memorial teaches us that we cannot write off any conflict as hopelessly irreparable. It shows us how respect, justice, and compassion can lead to a better future. And it teaches the world that memory matters, that we must first acknowledge the brutality before we can work towards peace, that complacency can be tantamount to collusion, that we must hold on to our humanity in order to step back from the abyss.
King Abdullah II bin al-Hussein is in Kigali on a 3-day visit since January 7th to strengthen bilateral relations between both countries and witness the signing of different agreements across sectors. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the report. The Rwanda Social Security Board, RSSB, revealed that 82.7% of community health insurance subscribers, this is also known as Mutuelle de Santé, have paid the total fee. This is as 18% of these subscribers have not fully paid, and some paid none, and are paying the health services fee. We do have the details with Prince Manzi.
As various citizens demonstrate that the community health insurance has supported in accessing health services at a low price, there are some that do not commit on paying the health insurance. Tamar Nyomufasha is a Kinyinya sector resident in Kigali City. We found her on a health center with no health insurance. Not paying the health insurance is because we are many at home and I cannot afford the payment. It is really a challenge because I could have taken my child at a hospital earlier. 3% of the community health insurance subscribers have not paid the full amount, whereas 15% paid a half and some did not pay any amount. One of the challenges stated is that if one relocated and established a family but still registered to the parent's family, it is hard to pay as one is supposed to pay for the whole family, as changing their statuses at the local administrations takes a while. I am living with my parents, but I wanted to register for paying my health insurance, but I was told that it is not possible. I am to pay for my whole family of siblings, and yet I have my own family. I have a husband who covers the payment, but I'm not yet given the economic class, so that he pays for me and the children, and then he's supposed to pay for my whole family. The director of the Mobilization and Registration Division at the Rwanda Social Security Board, Deogratias Ntigurirwa, states that starting from January, subscribers that did not pay the whole fee of the community health insurance will now use this insurance for health services, and for those willing to change their family payment schedule are to contact the local administrations. Those that paid 75% and those that paid none cannot use the community health insurance to access health services, as the law suggests that they are to access these services till the 31st December. There are 3% that have not fully paid. We are using various strategies for mobilizing. If someone is no longer living with his parents, he is allowed to have his own new family's community health insurance, and if you are still living with them, it is also better to share the health insurance. The Rwanda Social Security Board demonstrates that 82.6% of community health insurance subscribers have paid the total fee. 3% paid 75% of the fee, 15% paid the half or none. The fiscal year 2022-2023 ended with 90.7% of community health subscribers have paid the fee. The number of residents that the government paid the community health insurance for reduced from 2,146,000 to 636,849 people, and they reduced from this list, 67% of them have already paid. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince, and we'll head it over to the Parliament. The Rwandan Ombudsperson urged members of the Parliament to strengthen the follow-up on the issues hindering citizens and advocating to institutions in charge. This was said on Monday as the Committee on Political Affairs and Gender in the Rwandan Parliament was presented the report of the Office of the Ombudsperson in the activities of the last year, 2023.
Corruption and injustice outrage issues that appear in the activity report of the Ombudsperson last year. These are some of the issues that the Ombudsperson, Madeleine Nirere, points out that often come back every year, especially regarding land that causes conflicts. There are issues on land, expropriation, family issues regarding inheritance. These are issues that are often found in every year's report, especially land issues. We also found issues that are to be addressed generally in providing land documents. These are issues that deputies in the Committee on Political Affairs and Gender showed interest in having a hint on what institutions in charge explained to the Ombudsperson. If you held discussions with the Ministry of Local Government, what it is with relocating residents for mining sessions, how large is supposed to be the area. The suggestion of my colleague stating that they should limit where the research will be conducted and they fence the area, for not only protection of the research analysis, but also for future purposes, for determining someone, sometime conducted the research there. The Ombudsperson finds it important for the deputies in the Parliament to advocate for addressing issues demonstrated in the report as they oversee the executive action on behalf of the citizens. The issues stressed on include investors in mining sector that do not cover up pits, compensation for the relocating citizens, increase of issues not addressed by local administrations, and others.
Month, Kigali city residents pay a cleaning service fee for transporting wastes to the designated areas. Nevertheless, these residents suggest that they could be paid in collecting these wastes as they are currently generating income.
Gasabo district residents in Kigali city demonstrate that the cleaning service fee is 3,000 Rwandan francs per month. They say that instead of paying for the service, they are to be paid as wastes currently provide income. They are supposed to collect wastes without asking for money because they also use them for collecting income. Bottles, cartons, they all sell them. When these wastes reach the designated area, they are separated and they are sold. We think that advocacy is needed so that these companies buy from us these wastes. The Environmental Compliance and Enforcement Division Manager at the Rwanda Environment Management Authority, Beata Akimaye, demonstrates that the authority also finds this suggestion relevant, but the focus currently is for citizens to understand the importance of separating wastes. This suggestion is relevant, but again, if the wastes would have been separated in their respective homes and other areas, metals, papers, plastics, they would all be bought. If Rwandans would be able to separate them, these wastes could be bought, but mostly it's not the case. The mayor of Kigali City, Samuel Dusengiyumva, states that it would be of great importance if there could be an investor that buys the wastes from citizens. But currently, companies have a way of collecting waste that depends on a sector, and if there will be another way of processing these wastes, we shall communicate. What we do not want is to see wastes found everywhere because they are dangerous and cause diseases. So hygiene is to be enhanced. Decomposing particles of waste are used to produce fertilizers by some industries in the city of Kigali, and then undecomposable wastes like plastics and papers are recycled. This is done as part of the environment conservation policy.
We'll transition it to Rusizi district. Concerns have been raised over the disorderly construction practices that have become evident in Rusizi town, with some claiming that some houses are being built dangerously close to high-risk zones. Rusizi district authorities have announced that such construction must be halted immediately. We do have the details with Serge Nore.
Difficult to understand how such structures are being constructed in an area designated for urban buildings. Look at those homes. They have been clearly constructed in a high-risk zone. Some of the structures are being constructed in areas that were deemed safe for buildings erected with materials nowhere near as strong as what was used to build them. Those people who constructed their homes using timber, they say they did so with the authorization of local leaders. But I do not understand how sector authorities could have issued building permits for wooden structures on such a steep hillside. Indeed, even getting to the homes is a challenge in itself due to how steep the hill is, but the owners say that is not a problem for them. None of us living here owns a motorbike or car and come here on the walking path that exists. Other local residents in the area say those who choose to build in such perilous conditions do so because they have no other choice. People who go and construct their homes there do so because they can no longer afford to rent houses in proper residential areas and yet have children that they can no longer keep moving from place to place with. They decide to borrow money from their savings cooperatives and buy those cheap plots, putting them at risk, but that is all they can afford. Those who decide to take the risk are apparently doing so without the consent of local leaders. We do not have building permits because there are no roads here that necessitate them. The problem is that the land they are constructing on has been designated as an urban area that is to be developed as such. When a person buys a plot of land to construct a home on it, the consideration of whether or not it is in a high-risk zone is not raised, as long as it is possible to erect something on it and stop having to pay rent while in someone else's house. The whole matter has local residents divided in their opinions as to what should be allowed. They must be getting permits to construct in such areas, just not the regular permits issued for areas deemed safe for construction, because so many homes cannot be constructed without local authorities being aware. Maybe the higher ranking ones are not aware of it, but certainly the ones lower down know about it. Other local residents we spoke to confirmed that they believe that local officials should be held accountable for allowing the whole situation to arise. It's at the location where Gihundwe merges with Kamembe, and there are about 10 meters of land where the road just stops dead in its tracks, which is unfortunate when you consider just how much land local residents gave up to make its construction possible. How can 3 trees stop the construction of an entire road? Why can't the officials come and see the problems that we are facing? Because this is a matter that concerns more than just one person. District authorities are vowed to set things straight. Such structures are not allowed in an area marked for urbanization, and we are going to do what is necessary to correct it, with those due fines getting them, and when necessary demolitions will occur. It will all depend on what we find out when we go out for inspections. Rusizi town has been developing rapidly in recent years, and it is clear that the town's commercial areas are doing so following the established master plan, but the same can't be said of its outskirts and residential areas.
And from this, we put a period to our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production, as well as the technical team that made it happen, many thanks for being with us. Up until next time, stay safe, and we wish you a great and fruitful week ahead. Goodbye.